Hello everyone, this is a new video. Sarides here, obviously. Probably wondering what this is, and especially so if you've seen my recent posts. I don't know how recent it was now. I think I posted it in a few places, but the long and short of it is development of Zera is kind of on hiatus because it's been stressing me out too much, and just kind of generally being as public as I have been with progress and like expectations of, you know, release date or doing this or that. It's just kind of all led me to need to take a break and kind of move the project to a work on it when I feel like it kind of status. It's probably disappointing to a lot of people, but it's the way it has to be, so I don't cancel the game. I'm kind of just going over a bit of what those parts were if you didn't see them, so I won't go on about it anymore because some of you probably did already. You don't need to hear it again. So yeah, in my spare time, I guess, away from Zera, I've been working on this project, which this is just a testing environment for a new game. One that should hopefully be much more manageable in terms of scope and just be simpler overall and have a smaller size and be something I could manage to actually do and get out in a reasonable enough time frame compared to Zera, which I feel like is going to take me a very long time at this rate. So yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd show it at least a little bit. I was hesitant on whether or not I actually wanted to show this project, or if I kind of just wanted to keep it secret, but I feel like if I didn't show anything that I was working on, people would just assume that, like, oh, Zera's dead. Sarides just isn't making anything anymore at all, I guess. Which is not the case. I just, like I said, I've needed time away from that, and I'm gonna need a lot of time away from that. It's just not gonna be my sole focus anymore, because I want to do other things. I have other ideas, things that could be done in a reasonable amount of time compared to Zera, and I want to be able to pursue them. So I'm going to. Which leads us to this, where I just thought, you know, I wouldn't get too into details about the project or give any sort of like dates of like, oh, there's a demo coming for this or that or whatever. But I did just want to show it at least a little bit. There's no promises of when this game will be done or the size and scale of it or anything. I just thought I would just start making videos like these where I just kind of show what I'm doing. And I hope that's okay. But yeah. So this is this character. Their name is Ghost Witch. Actually, it's not their name. I don't remember if I have a name yet for them, but that's what the game is called. It's Ghost Witch. Very, very obvious why. They are ghosts and they are a witch. That is it's the game's name. Yeah. This is one of the little checkpoint things, respawning. You come out of a gravestone, or a grave, I guess. A tombstone rises up. It's a neat little effect, this whole thing, I thought. Some shadery stuff, so it always renders behind the tombstone. It's kind of cool. I also did something different with this project versus Zera's, where I have this fake Z buffer like problem to sort of more mimic the PS1 style a bit more. Or even though I'm not actually intersecting here, like just because of the way the Z buffer works on things, it kind of looks like it's warping out of place like an actual PS1 would be. The effect's not perfect, but it's just something. I don't know, it's a neat little thing. Anyways, I think I've rambled off about this crap. The game is kind of similar to, you know, Zera in certain regards. It is like a Spyro-like-ish kind of thing, but it is very bare bones in comparison to Zera, because I didn't want to complicate this. Like I said, I wanted to keep this small scale, reasonable in scope, to something I could actually do relatively quickly compared to Zera. So you just have a couple basic things. You can glide, you can spin in the air, spin on the ground, you can shoot a fireball, which I love that effect. Your collectibles, or one of your collectibles is potions. But overall, the game's sort of got a structure kind of thing that's mixed a bit more with like Super Mario 64 and how the collectibles and stuff will work, and progression and the general hub, but with a more kind of Spyro style gameplay on top of it. And then it's got a little spooky Halloween aesthetic, which is quite fun. Just little bouncy platforms made of spider webs. You don't have it charged like Spyro or Zera. If you want to move faster on the ground, you kind of spin to build up speed. Well, not really build up, it's a consistent speed, but that's how it works. Here, I was testing moving platforms. Oh, yep, and here's something new I did recently. It's not fully done, but it's one of the other collectibles is a familiar. You have to rescue in each level with a key that you find, and then you have to find the cage and bring it to them, and then you free them. Yeah, that's just a little thing. It's because I picked up one of those keys over there, I think. I love this cat. There's also been some changes in this game versus Zera with the way the LOD works. It actually has multiple sort of layers to it, instead of just being kind of a smooth gradient. If you don't know what LOD is, or what I'm talking about, in Zera there's, and in Spyro too, which is where it came from, is like, the farther away from things you can see like textures fade out into like a more solid color look. And we have this in Zera, but it's more of a smooth gradient, whereas Spyro, you would have like layers to it, of like multiple levels where you could see like this kind of like snapping effect here. Or it does it almost like, you know, face by face on the models. Which is kind of neat. It doesn't work exactly perfectly like how Spyro's does. That's just due to limitations of my knowledge and also due to the way shaders work. There's probably a way to do it exactly, but this is as close as I'll get. IMO. Yeah, it's just like a little testing area. Just some basic little platforming stuff here. I keep not landing on that. I'm impatient. Not really bad, apparently. Another thing I just actually put in last night. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. Because again, I don't want to make this too complicated, but it was like such a simple little thing to do. And I probably won't base any gameplay around it, but it's just like a thing that you can do, which is if you spin after shooting a fireball, you can essentially smack the fireball to make it go further and faster. This is just how it normally works. It's like this. And you can kind of smack it. You can see here a better example if I actually follow it. Doesn't have a sound effect or any kind of visual indication that that's what's happening yet, but you can kind of see it like re-arc upwards and go a little bit faster. It's just a neat little thing. I don't know if there'll be any actual usage for it, but I'm sure people will find a reason to use it at times. But yeah, this is pretty much all the base mechanics for the character. Just keeping it nice and simple this time, unlike Sarah. Yeah, these little gravestones are your checkpoints, and they light up and stuff when they're the active one. It'll be interesting to see how people feel about this when it all comes together, just due to the changes that this has, and due to the distinction between this and Zera. Like, I hope people like this, but I'm also not too pressed about it. I kind of just wanted to do something a little bit more fun for me, and just see if I could do, you know, a little smaller scale thing. This is a switch, it just doesn't have any actual visuals to it yet. So I thought I'd add switches to control certain things. This is just a temporary thing to test damage, which the death animations and stuff don't exist yet, but yeah. I respawn here. I love that effect. It's one of my favorite things. This is also another recent thing I did in this project. I mean, all of this is recent to you guys because you haven't seen any of it, but this is this was a fun little thing with some what is it? With some stencil like shader stuff. So I had to find like stencil shader online and then modify my shaders to use part of it. So there's actually like a giant mesh for the spinny thing that's here, but you can't see it because it's stenciled away, so it only shows on the door frame. But it actually does exist here, which is what makes it look like an actual physical thing. It's because it is. It's just being occluded by everything else. I don't know. This is some nerdy shit you probably didn't care about, but I just think it's a fun little thing. But these doorways are how you enter into the actual levels from the hub world, and it'll probably be how you leave as well, potentially. And then there's also going to be some other kinds of doors that are just like to transport you to a different area inside of an existing level or inside of the hub. So that'll be similar to this, but it'll just be kind of like a black hallway effect and not like this. But yeah, this is the level transition thing, and this is probably the last thing I'll show, really, before I kind of peace out for this video. Like I said, with this, there's no promises of how this game develops or when it comes out or a demo or anything like that. I just kind of changing how I do game dev from now on to work a bit more friendly on me in terms of my mental health and stress. So, sorry about it in advance, but that is the way that it is. But anyways, enough rambling about that. This is the level transition effect. It's not quite perfect yet, but it's getting close to how I want it. And this is the first level, although it's not done. It's kind of just a rough version of it. You can even see there's still a lot of the block out over there. I was using to plan the gameplay of the level. There's nothing in place yet or any enemies, but I don't know. It's just a fun little thing. Fun little spoopy Halloween kind of style 3D platformer. While still sticking to kind of the stuff I know how to do, which is kind of spiral-like gameplay. Anyways, I have no idea how long this video is now, because I can't see while I'm recording. It's full screen on the game. I'm going to assume long enough. So I should probably wrap this up here. Just thought I would give some sort of indication that this is a thing that exists. And the way that things are going to work anymore with, game dev stuff like this is just going to be kind of like this. I'll randomly feel like, I've got enough to show, that I want to show stuff. And so I will, but there's not going to be a sort of schedule for things anymore. And, I'm not going to make any promises about, like, oh, there's going to be a demo, or I'm going to go to Steam Early Access, because that hit me in the ass hard was there when I realized that I couldn't take the stress of it all. I kind of had to chill out. So, hope you can accept that that's the way it is, and hopefully eventually I get to release this and you all get to play it. But until then, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. Goodbye.